Hey, wrestling fans. Welcome to One Winged Wrestling, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Winged Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Bill Cutbush, and Krishna and I would normally be joining me, but right now he is unavailable and will not be joining us for the pre show tonight. So you are stuck with me for the first little bit, but Krishna will be joining us for the show review. I believe Krishna is currently driving to the airport. So we wish him well and we wish him speedy return. And we hope he enjoys this episode of Dynamite in this very odd city that we have today. I mean, I don't know how many of you keep track of things like forest fires going on in Canada, but we have a really big forest fire going on in the province of Quebec right now. And the way the winds are blowing, it is blowing this like horrendous smoke clear down to Toronto, like right at us. And the air quality in Toronto is just garbage. Like you can smell the smoke, and this forest fire is a very long way away. But we have like air quality advisories, warnings. It's some of the worst air quality we've ever had. And it's just weird, like a forest fire that far away, and it's affecting us. We have kind of like a strange tint to the light in the sky. And you might even hear my voice a little scratchy because I went out for my walk today and inhaled that air for a good solid hour, even though they told us we probably shouldn't do that, but I needed to get out. So yeah, it was a very strange. The light looks weird, and I mean, is this going to be a hallmark of what we have tonight with Dynamite? I sincerely hope not. But yeah, I mean, that is what we're here to talk about, of course, is professional wrestling. Tonight is our Dynamite review show. So we're going to I'm going to predict the card solo tonight. I'm going to tell you which matches I think are going to be great, which ones maybe not so wonderful. If anything's going to reach the Omega level, what are my expectations? Then I'm going to go away and watch the show. Hopefully, Krishna will also be watching the show. And then we'll come back together at the end and we will tell you what we thought. What exactly happened? Did the matches meet our expectations? And most importantly, did anything on the card reach the all important Omega level? But I do need to take a moment to slide down for a second because before we get into Dynamite, there was some sad news today. The Iron Sheik passed away today at the age of 81. The Sheik was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2005, the NWA Hall of Fame class of 2008. He made it to the George Tragos Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2016. Probably the most famous thing that I actually remember him for was when I was quite young. I mean, the Sheik ended Bob Backlund's, like, I guess it was what, 1,470-day reign as the WWF champion. He defeated him in Madison Square Garden on December 26, 1983. He didn't hold the title long. He dropped it to Hulk Hogan on January 23rd, 1984. Now, this was, though, the match that completely jolted Hulkamania into the stratosphere. This was the start of the whole Hulkamania thing leading up to, the various WrestleManias and like the match with Andre the Giant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And it was that match with the Iron Sheik that really put Hulkamania on the map. And I remember that. I was 13. I remember when Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik. So, and I remember the Iron Sheik's character and how much we all hated him and stuff, right? I mean, we were kids. He was terrible. We hated him. But you never forget him. He had a bombastic personality, sometimes funny, sometimes a little odd. I will always remember him for his personality post wrestling as well. His life was made into a documentary in 2014 just called The Sheik. And myself and on behalf of Krishna and One Winged Wrestling, we send our condolences to his friends and family and his fans. Truly a sad passing, and he will be missed in the wrestling community. Anyway, but we do have Dynamite tonight. And tonight it comes to us from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Now, there hasn't been a whole lot announced for this card. Now, we're moving officially into the Forbidden Door build, right? And I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they confirmed on a press conference yesterday that we are officially getting Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door. The first time these two will ever meet. Okada cut a bit of a promo on Danielson during that press conference, and it was pretty great. He did say to him in English at the end that, this match will determine who the real best in the world is. And that's very true. I mean, these two guys are pretty much on top of the food chain when it comes to professional wrestling, except for maybe the other two guys that are also now official for Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay challenging Kenny Omega for that US IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. I mean, two unbelievable matches. Unbelievable. This could be the pay-per-view event of the year, depending on what else they do with this card. But just those two matches alone are worth like the whole pay-per-view. I mean, you could just cut out everything else and play those two matches, and it is going to be out of sight, insane. Like, I cannot wait to see those two matches. So anyway, they are now official. So I would assume tonight on Dynamite, we're going to get the beginning of the build to Forbidden Door, right? We've had the Hangover episode from Double or Nothing. We're moving into Forbidden Door in just a few weeks. So they really got to ramp it up here. So that's kind of the eye I'm looking at what they're doing with these segments and matches. And there hasn't been a lot announced. So, I mean, not as much as usual. We have 2 segments, 5 matches. So the first segment, we're going to hear from AEW World Champion MJF. I mean, I'm thinking this has got to be him saying, I don't really give a flying rat's ass about Forbidden Door, and getting a match at Forbidden Door. But who is it actually going to be with, right? Because whoever it is, I got a feeling that MJF is probably going to have to win that match. So who is he going to beat? Well, we know it's not going to be Okada. We know it's not going to be Ospreay. Who have they got up top that could actually be a viable challenger for him? Who they might be willing to let MJF beat, right? It's not going to be Sonata because there's no way their IWGP World Heavyweight Champion is going to lie down for MJF. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying that New Japan isn't going to have that happen. So who does that leave us with? Who is the challenger going to be? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're probably going to get, let's go with Naito. Okay. I'm going to say we're going to get Naito challenging him. I think Naito missed last year's Forbidden Door, and I think a match between Naito and MJF would actually be pretty darn good. I think my only question is, how well do the North American fans know Naito? Right? Los Ingobernables de Japón, LIJ. But Tetsuya Naito is a very, very good wrestler. And a match against MJF, that might not be too bad. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's who he's getting at Forbidden Door, and we shall see. Tony Khan will be announcing the first Collision main event. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure it's going to be CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. They're just going to count on the nostalgia of their matches in Ring of Honor. That's fine. There's not going to be much build to this. I can't see there being a build until they actually get there. So yeah, that's fine. CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. That's my guess. I can't imagine what else this main event is going to be, but I guess Tony Khan could surprise us too. I hope he does, but I'm not really that hyped for this announcement, to be quite honest. And that brings us to the 5 matches, right? And I am going to do them in my reverse order of where I think they're going to rank. So I'm going to go from 5 to 1. And I think the number 5 match on the night will be Kris Statlander taking on Anna JayAS for the TBS championship. Apparently this came out of the house shows on the weekend. Anna Jay put on a really good show against her, still lost, but re-challenged, and Kris Statlander granted her another shot at the title. So that's fine. I mean, Anna Jay has come a long way from, a year ago or so, and, she's improved, and Kris Statlander's decent. But when I look at the other matches on this card, I don't think this match is going to suck. I just don't think it's going to be more than good. And for that, it's going to slide in the number 5 spot for me. The 4th best match I think we're going to get is Ricky Starks taking on Jay White. Now, and there is a stipulation here, FTR and Juice Robinson are banned from ringside. Now, this could be a good match. Look, you guys know by now, I don't love Ricky Starks. I think he's kind of boring. Jay White I really like, and I wish he'd get away from Ricky Starks. But I think they're building this up towards Forbidden Door. So with that in mind, I think we're going to get some extra people coming out. We have FTR already in the corner of Starks. So who is going to come to White's aid with Juice Robinson? I am hoping, above hope, that it is El Phantasmo, who is Canadian, and it would be really great to see him fight at the ACC or Scotiabank Arena or whatever we want to call our arena now. That would be awesome. So I am praying that this is El Phantasmo showing up to assist Jay White getting the win over Ricky Starks, and this leads to some stuff at thing. But we shall see. We shall see. But someone's got to come out, I think. Someone that's not Juice Robinson and join Bullet Club Gold. So we'll figure that out, won't we? The number 3 match on the night, and I would say those two bottom ones are the pretty clear 4 or 5. The number 3 match, I think, is the pretty clear middle match. Like it's better than the 4 or 5, but not as good as the 1-2. And for me, that is Junglehook, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Hook taking on La Facción Ingobernables, Preston Vance, and Dralistico. Now, in a Texas Tornado tag match. Why is this a Texas Tornado tag match? I have no idea. There's no rationale for this. It's not like they were a bunch of chaotic people. I don't get it. Why Texas Tornado? Just because. So yeah, this match will be pretty chaotic. I suspect there will be some shenanigans involved. I don't really know where they're going with this match. I don't really understand the purpose of it. Okay, fine. Junglehook versus Ella. And that's what I mean. That's why it's number 3. It'll be a good match, right? It'll be solid. There'll be some damn good wrestling. I mean, Jack Perry's great. Dralistico's great. Preston Vance is decent, and Hook's really good. So, I'm looking forward to it, but only kind of in that mild interest sort of way. Do I think it has implications for Forbidden Door? I don't think so. I think this is kind of the one match that's standing out from that tonight. So, So that brings us to what I think is going to be the number 2 match on the card tonight, and that is the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. I wish Krishna were here because I love listening to him fight against Castagnoli, versus Chaos, Trent Baretta, Chuck Taylor, and Rocky Romero. So the fact that they're calling them Chaos and the fact that it is Trent Baretta, Chuck Taylor, and Rocky Romero says a lot, because Jon Moxley was feuding with Kazuchika Okada and, of course, Tomohiro Ishii. And is this going to lead to other members of Chaos challenging the Blackpool Combat Club at Forbidden Door? Because Okada's busy. He's got Danielson. So do they need 3 other members? I mean, let's say that the Blackpool Combat Club just beats the living tar out of Chaos here as a message to send back. Because, I mean, they already talked about Wheeler Yuta segment. Who's afraid of Rocky Romero when they were fighting them the last time, right? So, I think it'd be very interesting to have a rematch against some of the Chaos members. But is that what's going to happen? Or is something else going to happen? I don't know, but we shall see. I would love to see a one-on-one singles match between Moxley and Ishii. That would be fine. Or Castagnoli and Ishii. That would also be great. But yeah, I don't really know where they're going with this. I'm intrigued though. I'm really intrigued. And this match is going to be out of sight. I mean, when you put guys like Trent Baretta, Rocky Romero, his younger brother, Rocky Romero, Chuck Taylor. I mean, all 6 of these guys are phenomenal talents in the ring. So, this match can't help but completely rock. So I'm looking forward to it, but it'll be my number 2 because the number 1 match, and once again, we're talking about Orange Cassidy and match of the night. This guy's title run has been nuts, but is tonight the end of the run? We have Orange Cassidy as the champion, taking on Swerve Strickland for the AEW International Championship. Has Orange Cassidy's time run out? I am actually going to say no. I think he's going to beat Swerve, and I think he's going to beat Swerve perhaps with a little bit of help. And that's going to divide Swerve off to go do something else for Forbidden Door. Because what I'm hoping comes out of this is we get the Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. challenge tonight. I want to see that match at Forbidden Door. Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr. They could even do it title for title. I think that would be absolutely amazing. One of the two of them is going to be holding both titles. I think having Orange Cassidy, well, it might be tough because I think and New Japan TV title gets defended a lot, and I wouldn't want to see that end. But let Cassidy go over and do a little stint in Japan for a bit defending that belt, right? He only needs to do it 2, 3 times. Maybe he loses it pretty fast. But having him up against Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door it can't help but be amazing, right? So, but him against Swerve tonight, let's not fast forward past tonight. Swerve Strickland is just phenomenal in the ring. Orange Cassidy is Orange Cassidy. Like he's on another level, right? And this title defense has just elevated him like to the stratosphere. So, or this title run. So Cassidy and Swerve Strickland, I cannot wait. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be my match of the night. I think it might even have Omega level potential if it happens the right way, but we shall see. If I had to predict if anything on tonight's show be Omega level, I would have to say no. I doubt it. I think it depends on what some of the Forbidden Door news is, maybe surprise people showing up, that kind of thing. We shall see. But yeah, those are the matches. Like that's the only other one I can think of that would come out of this for sure. But they've got to be doing some other setup, right? I mean, the problem is, of course, when it comes to the build, Stardom won't be there, right? I mean, unless they're sending some very minor people, Stardom's not going to be there because they're very busy June 25th, right? With their own pay-per-view. So, and I mean, Mayu Iwatani's booked on that show, right? Julia's booked on that show. I mean, all the big names that may have come across are all booked on that show already. So it's pretty clear when you're doing a pay-per-view the same day and all your big names are booked, you're probably not participating in Forbidden Door, which, I'm not surprised because New Japan hasn't paid a whole lot of, what do you call it, attention to the IWGP Women's Championship anyway. I think Mayu Iwatani honestly cares about it more than New Japan does. But that's okay. So that's my one little area of sadness. I was really hoping we get some Stardom talent on this show, but I don't think we're going to. And that's okay. But I mean, could they have Willow Nightingale just defend her New Japan Strong Women's Championship again? Perhaps, but against whom and why? I mean, what I'm really hoping is that we can get a few stories out of this too. One of the complaints about Forbidden Door last year was, oh, we don't know who these wrestlers are. Well, one, go watch New Japan. It's freaking awesome wrestling. Two, so maybe we do some stories. Maybe we get some background videos. Maybe we do a little more build for some of these. We've only got a few weeks, but do as much as you can with this. Show us some background. Tell some stories. That's what I'd really like to see. So I am looking forward to tonight's show. I'm looking forward to it mainly because it's the build to Forbidden Door finally starting officially. And I'm really looking forward to that Orange Cassidy Swerve Strickland match. But other than that, yeah, I think it's going to be a solid episode. Best ever, probably not, but solid. But for now, I am going to go watch the show. Hopefully, Krishna gets back from the airport and he goes and watches the show. And then we will both be back afterwards to talk about the show. But for you guys listening, it's going to seem like we were never gone. And that was AEW Dynamite tonight. And it came to us from the Broadmoor World Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We have Taz, Tony, and Excalibur on commentary, of course. And we open with Orange Cassidy's 24th defense of the AEW International Championship, taking on Swerve Strickland. The match that I said was going to be match of the night. And I think Krishna would have agreed with me. Would you have predicted this to be match of the night? Krishna, by the way, is here.
I probably would have assumed that. Looking at the card, I would have been like, yeah, these two, like, again, huge Swerve fan, huge Orange Cassidy fan. So I would have just made the assumption this would have been my number one pick.
That's what I figured. And by the way, welcome back, Krishna. We're glad to have you back from the airport.
I'm surviving the air pollution that we have right now, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy to be back. Happy to have some wrestling.
Yes. Which we will now get into. Woo! Oh, sorry.
And just quickly, as Bill pointed out before we started the show, R.I.P. Iron Sheik. Wow, I didn't even know until you just dropped that bomb on me. What are you talking about? I just looked it up. I was like, wow, The Iron Sheik, eh? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I again, I was too young to really see the Iron Sheik wrestle in any way, but so I saw like the insanity afterwards. But we all just like the Sheik because he was just a Sheik, and like he gave us tons of stuff to laugh at. Though if you like really look at the Iron Sheik story, it's pretty sad some of the stuff this guy had gone through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like by the end of it, like he was fixing himself, he was becoming like still trying to trying to get like stuff hits on like on I guess Twitter and stuff like that, just with his random comments and stuff like that. But he was just someone entertaining.
Yeah,
That's
he
it.
was a hell of
That's
a
all it was.
personality, and
Yeah.
I was talking about how I actually remember him winning the WWF Championship, and then Hulk
Oh
Hogan
wow.
beating him to start Hulkamania.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
13 years old at that point, so yeah, very interesting times in professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, and you're right. I mean, he was quite the personality. I mean, I remember watching him wrestle. His camel clutch. So
Camel clutch,
that was his finishing moves. Every time I see a camel clutch, I still think of the Iron Sheik. So there you go. So,
Oh, Sheik.
so yeah, definitely RIP as I said earlier, and Krishna has just added. He's a character that will be missed in the wrestling
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So back to Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland. Well, this match opens with them trading counters, feeling each other out, first with agility, then some mat wrestling. Cassidy uses a variation of an octopus at one point, leaning
Mm.
on Swerve's back to pose. Swerve baits Cassidy to the outside, though, and starts working him over, including whipping Cassidy's hand into the ring post twice. And I mean, that's the story here. It's Cassidy is carrying these injuries. 24th title defense.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely crazy if you look
Crazy.
at the list of opponents he's had, right? So, I mean, he is selling he is battered up as a champion thing. At one point, Swerve got Cassidy into an electric chair, but Cassidy tried to take him over with a Hurricane Rana. But Swerve like over the ropes with a Hurricane Rana, but Swerve landed on his feet on the outside with Cassidy still on his shoulders. But then Cassidy hit the Hurricane Rana into the railing, followed by a tope suicida and a diving crossbody back in the ring. But then Swerve nails a big right hand to take control, and soon but yeah. And my tongue decides to stop. But soon they fight on the turnbuckle and both get face planted at the same time into the turnbuckle. Cassidy takes over on the outside, throwing Swerve into the barricade twice, but Prince Nana distracts Cassidy. Swerve takes advantage to drop Cassidy with a kick and a diving uppercut, working him over until Cassidy hits a thrust kick. He goes for the beach break, but his back gives out. And then he counters Swerve, though, into the Stun Dog Millionaire, dodges a drop kick, nails a leaping flatliner, and both are down. He can't capitalize. Swerve gets up first. They go back and forth, but Cassidy lands the DDT for two, his back not allowing him to get a solid pin. Swerve pulls Cassidy off the turnbuckle, though, and hits a Death Valley driver on the apron. Cassidy hits a series of high boots on Swerve, though, when he takes too long to set up the stomp. And Cassidy nails a DDT to the floor, then a diving DDT in the ring for a near fall, the back causing problems again. He goes for the orange punch, but Swerve goes to move, and Cassidy hits a Hurricane Rana for two. Nana gets up on the apron and intervenes again, but Swerve accidentally kicks him off. Cassidy nails the orange punch and a beach break for a near fall. Swerve kicks out. I bid on that. Swerve rolls out of
Mm-hmm.
the ring. Cassidy goes for a diving DDT, but Swerve counters with a brainbuster on the floor. He catches the tope and hits a brainbuster. It was crazy. Swerve goes for the house call. Cassidy reverses into a crucifix for two. Swerve then fakes Cassidy out and then nails the house call, then hits the Swerve stomp. And again, I'm like, okay, now it's over. Nope,
Mm-hmm.
another big near fall. There is a fight forever chant at this point. Swerve goes for his driver, but Cassidy reverses into a roll, and they go back and forth with rolling pins, each trying to pull each other's tights at this point. Swerve did it first, then Cassidy, and Cassidy gets the three, pulling on the tights before we get to the Mogul Embassy attacks. The lights
Yeah.
go out. Sting and Darby appear in the ring, saving Cassidy. And I know the legend counts as two, as you said last week, but they were still
Yep.
outnumbered.
They're still
Anyway,
numbered. But
yes.
he had a bat. He had the bat in his hand.
No, that's true. They had bats. You're right. They had
Yeah.
bats.
So
So,
so that's why.
what'd you think of the match?
This match was fantastic. This match was great. Like these two guys, like you're right. This was my number one B. This was not my match of the night.
Are
I know,
you
shockingly.
kidding?
I'm dead
I am
serious.
honestly shocked. I'm honestly shocked.
Yeah, no. This had everything I loved. Everything
Mhm.
I love. And the two guys I love. I wasn't really big on the ending. I get why they did it. I understand. I really thought that Swerve was gonna
Oh
win this
yeah,
match.
that's right. You're all hung up on the Swerve thing, but you
I'm on
forget the
Swerve, yo.
Forbidden Door
Yeah.
implications
So
here. Yeah, yeah.
so I'm like, I enjoyed the match. I really did. Again, 1B. That's why I didn't say it was like number two. It's 1B.
Hmm.
Like this match could easily be number one. I didn't like I don't listen, I don't care about the Embassy versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Orange Cassidy. That's stupid, right? That's just
Yeah.
dumb, right? I mean, it should be, if anything, the Embassy versus the Best Friends, because their Orange Cassidy's back up, or Bandito. Did everyone forget about Bandito? Like these things, right? I don't care about Sting and Darby Allin ever. Like, listen, okay, let's take that back. I care about Darby Allin. I like Sting, but I don't care about that. This trios. I don't really need to see this ever, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I again, 1B, fantastic match. These guys knocked it out of the park. They made me bite so much. I'm like, okay, my God, Orange Cassidy's gonna lose. His bandaged up back and everything, and he pulled it off again. He did it again. And
Yep.
you know what? I can see it. He's carrying the championship to Forbidden Door, and that's probably where he's gonna lose it. But that's okay. That is okay. Or as you predicted, maybe all the way to what is it?
Wembley.
Wembley, where Pac is going to take it from him because Pac wants his title back. So I love this match. I thought it was fantastic. But again, my 1B, and you might be shocked what my
Wow.
1A is going to be, but my 1B.
I might be. Konosuke Takeshita versus Damon Ace. Is that your one?
Wrong, Chris.
Oh, okay.
It's Chris Statlander versus Anna JayAS.
I think we're both going to be surprising each other a lot
Okay.
tonight.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah, this was my 1A.
All right.
This was my match
Fair
of the
enough.
night. I mean, my
Fair
God, this
enough.
match was freaking incredible.
Hmm?
Right? I mean, we cannot
No.
underestimate the way Orange Cassidy is wrestling in this championship run. This
Yeah.
man is a freaking superstar in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's anyone that has just taken himself to an absolute elite level this title run, it's Orange Cassidy. Every bloody week he goes out there and puts on a clinic. Every
Yep.
bloody week. He is easily like just I don't even know where to put him at this point. He's just so freaking good. His selling is nuts. The way that
Yeah.
he even sells like the back, covering guys, can't get covers on them because of his back, right? Orange Punch is weakened because of his hand, right? Like just all these things that are going on in his match, the way he fights back, still keeps his personality, still does his gimmick, fires up when he needs to. And my God, can Swerve Strickland wrestle,
Oh yeah.
right? The way those guys
He's
were dodging each other, countering each other, it was so good. It was a bloody clinic in the ring with these two. I loved the ending, the way that Swerve goes for the tights, but Cassidy, getting
mm-hmm.
desperate to defend his
Mm-hmm.
championship, does the same thing back to Swerve, right? Like you can tell Cassidy is just floating on the razor's edge of keeping this title at this point, right? And I love the way it's building up. Every match is one step closer to him losing it, right? And now the only thing I didn't like, I think, was right along with you. Like, I would have given this match 4.5 stars. This
Mm-hmm.
match was freaking amazing. So, yeah, match of the night easily. There was nothing else on this card for me that, I mean, I don't even know if I would call my second favorite match a 1B. It was definitely solid. I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
even a 1B. I think it's a 2. And the aftermatch, though, that gets like a D.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't, like, got Forbidden Door. Like, what
Yeah.
the
Who cares?
hell? Are we building this just
2
up for a
weeks.
Dynamite or a
Yeah.
Rampage? Because
2
that's what this
weeks
looks
away.
like to me. Like, do we
So
have to
Forbidden
have
Door.
Sting on the card so bad he's going to fight the Mogul affiliates?
Yeah.
Like,
I
what
don't
the
know.
frack is that?
Unless
This is
unless they're setting up
garbage.
unless they're setting up something for Sting at Forbidden Door, where like maybe next week we have like this 6-man tag, right? And
Mhm.
then that's where the Forbidden Door
Well,
opens up
yeah,
because they
this
want Sting.
better not be the pay-per-view
It
match.
has no
This
no no
is
no no no. It has to be.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It
This
has
is
to be.
freaking terrible. I
Yeah.
mean, you want to give me a 3-way with like Zack Sabre Jr., Orange Cassidy, and Swerve
Mhm.
Strickland? I'll take that too. But I'd much
Yep.
rather have the singles match. I'd much rather have Cassidy versus
Same.
Zack Sabre Jr. for the belts. Like
Same.
each of them can put their titles on the line. That would be great, right? Like fine. That's what I really want here. And you know what? This is the problem, is that I'm going into Forbidden Door, and the same thing happened with people last year. I'm going, here's my list of dream matches. Here's the matches I want to see at Forbidden Door. I've got 2 of them.
I know.
I'm getting greedy. Because I've lost Stardom, completely lost Stardom. So I'm not getting any of those matches. Thanks guys for working that one out. So I'm sitting here going, where's Zack Sabre Jr.? I mean, he should have made an appearance tonight, even if just by video.
Yeah.
And nothing, crickets. All right. And instead I get Sting, Darby Allin, and like every time there was a surprise, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that
and
wasn't what I was expecting.
And the funny thing is that Orange Cassidy, who did he fight last year? He fought who did he fight last year? Because they ended up, for me, stealing Forbidden Door last year. It was the match that he had against, who did he fight? Because I remember vividly saying Orange Cassidy stole Forbidden Door because he had the best match on the card. Yeah, no, I thought great match. I'm hoping that this is really setting up for what is eventually going to be a Forbidden Door match. Like someone's gonna come out, like, but yeah, I don't know. The ending was kind of like, guys, you have 2 weeks left. Like, you got to speed some of this stuff up to make people care.
It was Will Ospreay.
There you go. Well, that's why I said Orange Cassidy.
How could we possibly forget that it was against Will Ospreay? I mean, of course that was the match of the show, right? I mean, it's Will Ospreay. Yeah, and him against Zack Sabre Jr. this year. He wants Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, I'd really like him to get Zack Sabre Jr., but can we have some like matches set up? I mean, I realize that it's an AEW show and they've got to fill in some time for the next few weeks without New Japan around. But holy hell, like Darby Allin, Sting, and Orange Cassidy against the Mogul affiliates? Come on. It feels so Bush League to me. But anyway, okay, whatever. We get a recap of Starks and White video. White's gonna hurt him. Okay. Sure. Bryan Danielson comes out to join commentary, and then they recap the video challenge from Dominion and Okada's answer. Finally, some Forbidden Door stuff at the desk, but of course we knew this already. At the desk, Danielson says, so Okada calls himself a once-in-a-lifetime performer. Do you guys not think I'm a once-in-a-lifetime performer? I'm going to prove to Okada at Forbidden Door that I'm better than he ever was.
Nice.
As if I need more hype for this match. Seriously. This match is like, I said on the pre-show beforehand, we're getting Okada and Danielson, and we're getting Ospreay and Omega. Everything else in the card can be absolute shit. It doesn't matter because we're getting those 2 matches. You can give us a parade of jobber matches, and I'll still be happy with the card. So anyway, doesn't mean I won't complain about the fact that we get whatever the hell that was in the first one. So we move on to more build. Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on Chaos, Trent Baretta, Chuck Taylor, and Rocky Romero. Chaos comes out flying. They throw a chair into Castagnoli before the match starts, and they take it to them on the outside. Baretta hits a superplex on Yuta to bring him into the ring and start the match. Taylor immediately hits a pile driver, but Claudio breaks up the pin. The BCC gets a brief advantage, but Chaos goes right after them again, pulling Mox off the apron, beating Yuta and Claudio down. They hug in the ring, and Danielson wonders why they're wasting time. Good point, Danielson. Back in the ring, Yuta grabs Taylor's boot, and Mox hits a cutter for 2. Mox tags, and Claudio and Yuta hit the heart attack for 2. The Blackpool BBC, the British Broadcasting System works. I know the Blackpool Combat Club works over Taylor in the corner, including a solid show from Yuta, a beautiful gut wrench suplex from Castagnoli, and then Taylor then hits a flatliner on Yuta, a knee strike, and makes the hot tag to Baretta, who nails Mox with a spear and a back suplex. Trent tags Romero, who goes nuts on all 3 guys, hits double knees with Trent on Mox, and then the hanging stomp, followed by a sliding knee from Trent, and Rocky gets a 2. Really impressive show there from Roppongi Vice. They then land a spiked strong 0, but Castagnoli breaks it up. Mox counters with the sliced bread. Mox counters the sliced bread, but Rocky gets the Juji Gatami. Baretta goes for a moonsault to the floor on Claudio, but he nails a perfectly timed uppercut, dropping him. It was beautiful. Mox transitions into the Bulldog in the ring. Yuta intercepts Taylor, just like flattening him with elbows. Like he keeps striking him. Rocky taps in the meantime, and the match is over, but Yuta just keeps beating on Taylor till he's out cold. And that was your match. What did you think?
I loved it. This is my match of the night. I had so much fun in this match. It was so quick. It was so brutal. And there's just something about the Blackpool Combat Club. They're just growing so much on me. And we'll get to like a segment from other people soon. But they're just growing on me. And it's so hard not to cheer for them. Castagnoli with okay, why did I try that? Why did I try to say that name again? Claudio.
I commented on it during the pre-show too. And Krishna's favorite wrestler to pronounce.
The Claudio with that uppercut. What a great timing. Like, what a great timing. I was like, you could take the guy's head off. And then this Yuta. Oh my goodness. I thought it was so smart to have Chaos go after them. Like immediately they throw the chair at Moxley.
Well, it's the only way you can even have a chance, right?
Yuta's like not even across the the barricade and Moxley's already knocked over. But yeah, no, I had, you know what, the match, it was so fast. It didn't overstay its welcome. I had so much fun with it. It was basically almost like a tornado Texas tag match, whatever they call it, right? A Texas tornado tag.
No, it was not. Which we will have. Let's not talk about Texas tornado tags right now. Let's just keep it to this. Everyone tagged in and out properly, but brawled a lot match.
Yeah. It was. I loved it. So I gave this my match tonight because I had so much fun with it.
No, this match was freaking great. Okay, it was great. I also loved the hell out of it. The Blackpool Combat Club is rapidly becoming my favorite faction in wrestling. I mean, no offense to the Elite, but I mean, we'll get to the Elite later. But and look, Matt, Nick, I love you guys. Kenny, I love you. But the Blackpool Combat Club, they are the here and now. Them plus the United Empire and New Japan, and you've got two of the best factions in wrestling. And not to mention Cosmic Angels, but we'll I had to.
Club Venus.
No, but to get back to this, the Blackpool Combat Club. There's some you honestly you need to see that match from Dominion. It was all of it. Oh yeah. It was like this, but against like with New Japan type stuff. So yeah, it just these guys are insane together as a trio.
So much fun. Like
Yuta is just so
he's
good.
So good. He's so good. He just can't talk because he sounds like a little kid every time he opens his mouth, even when he yells. I'm like, stop it. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, but that's his charm at this point, right? He's like the little shit in the group, right? It's so much fun. Like he's like the little kid with the rest of them who just likes to come out and beat people up. And it is such a great group. I mean, like Claudio Castagnoli, my wrestler of the week last week. Just another great showing here. Just so good.
The match was fun. I just had so much fun with this match, and it was quick. It didn't, again, I can point out, it didn't overstay its welcome. It just went in, and I thought it was going to build to something else because chaos, but
yeah, I thought so too. And so I was left at the end kind of going, oh, so they're just leaving. Okay. That was the match. This is Kazuchika Okada's group. There's your build, guys. This is his group.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Whatever. Great. No 4-star match. Easily. Well, then we go to the Hung Bucks backstage, and they call them that. The Hung Bucks.
I hate that name.
I freaking hate that name. Matt goes, oh, we're live? Hangman says, Blackpool Combat Club, great match. We didn't see it, but great match. Next week, we're in Washington, D.C., where Dynamite began. So, new beginning. You thought you finished us off. It's not. New beginning. We're here to challenge you next week. No Danielson, no Takeshita. And that was the promo. And outside, Danielson just says, well, he's still at the commentary desk. Challenge accepted. It'll be their last. We're going to end them.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna get beaten up next week. I didn't care for this promo. I kind of felt like that Danielson, like, okay, sure, you want to challenge us, bring it, right? I do feel next week is where things are gonna happen because I feel like the Hung Bucks, if you want to call them, whatever, Hangman and the Bucks, are going to be a trios team against whomever comes through the Forbidden Door, right? That's my prediction for their match at Forbidden
House
Door.
Of Torture.
Please no. Maybe it's United Empire, right? Maybe it's like some people from there. Who are the tag champions right now?
The Bishamon. Hiroki
Bishamon.
Goto and Yoshihashi. They're
What are
solid.
what about TJP and what's his
Francesco
face?
Akira, they're the
Yeah.
junior heavyweight tag champs.
So them and who can they tag up with? Maybe the non-injured United Empire guy. What's his name?
You could have Aaron Henare or Jeff Cobb or Great
Oh,
Khan.
that's true.
Take your
Jeff
pick.
Cobb.
Aaron
That's true. You
Henare
probably
would be a great pick against. I
so
would love to
so
see Henare versus Hangman.
so that's why I'm thinking like I don't think we're gonna get a singles match for Hangman. I think it's gonna be a trios this
Oh, I
time because
know, Bill.
we have Kenny as the singles, which deservedly so. Yeah, I feel like this is building. Obviously, what's gonna happen is Blackpool Con Club's gonna win next week, based on what's gonna happen to the Bucks, right?
Mhm.
That's my prediction. Again, I didn't hear like these promos for the Bucks are so lame right now. Like
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, Blackpool Combat Club, they're running like roughshod over them in every aspect.
Mhm.
Like the wrestling, the promos, everything they do
Yeah.
is just cooler. The Bucks have become a parody, and I'm just not in it right now, right?
Yep.
It's like, okay, guys, at this point just shut up and wrestle. Like I've had enough of this back and forth nonsense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm that's the weird part is like I'm not really that excited for this match next week, to be honest with you. I'm just excited to see the Blackpool Combat Club and what's gonna happen, but hype level is just not there, and I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
say why.
I want the BCC to move on to something else for Forbidden
Yeah,
Door. Like
yeah,
it's time. It's time. You won the feud. You won. You destroyed
yeah,
them in Anarchy in the arena. That should be the end of the feud. You know,
yeah.
they should just move on. But apparently they have to beat them one more time. Okay, that's fine. But I mean, this time there's going to be no Kenny involved. There's going to be no Takeshita involved. There's going to be no Danielson involved, apparently. So we'll see what happens. I don't really know where this is going. They kind of threw the
Hmm.
whole monkey wrench in it with Don Callis, who we'll get to later.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just ever since that, it's been like, oh, what's really going on with this story? Because I mean, the Blackpool
Hmm.
Combat Club is just killing everybody, which is
Yep.
great.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, I mean, pretty much they just kill everybody. Although they lost in at Dominion, all right. So Okada
Sure.
beat Yuta, or I mean Umino.
Mm.
Sorry, the Yuta substitute in
The
Umino.
yeah, Yuta substitutes.
Yeah, Shota Umino, the Japanese Wheeler Yuta. Yeah. Pretty much too, to be honest. So anyway, then they show the Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega video, and you understand what a real challenge and challenger looks
Hmm.
like. They play some of the classic lines, 364 days a year, you're better than me, but it only takes one day to be a champion. I love that. What I found interesting was that this video didn't really cast Ospreay as a heel. He just got cast as the guy who got the kicked out of him,
Yeah.
bleeding all over the place and is coming back to get his championship. And he doesn't sound like a heel whatsoever, but then neither did Kenny in this. So it just
No.
sounds like two guys who are both at the top of their game gonna go at it.
I don't. Again, I think in Canada, really, it's just Kenny Omega, right? I mean, and we'll specifically call that out. I'm gonna come to your country
Mm-hmm.
and take away the title
But
from you,
they
right?
left that out of the video.
I know they did. They did leave it out of
Mm-hmm.
interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe they played it up for like the US who don't really care, right? That he's from Canada.
That's quite possible. That's quite possible. I'm sure if they want to hype this, they'll play that video right before the match
Oh yeah,
in the Scotiabank
100%,
Arena. So yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Um, well, MJF comes to the ring.
Hmm.
He starts with a bunch of cheap heat on Colorado.
Hmm.
He's bored, but I was bored with his cheap heat on Colorado because he has no competition in the company because nobody is on the level of the devil. So Adam Cole comes out and he does almost his full entrance. He's not just coming out to talk,
I
he's
know.
coming out to do his entrance. And MJF cuts him
Yep.
off before he can do the final bit. And MJF says to him, I'm excited. Some worthy competition. I'm a big fan. When Punk up and left me as a kid, I thought my fandom of pro wrestling was over, but I came across Ring of Honor and I thought it sucked. It was full of indie jabronis. And just as I was about to change the channel, Adam Cole came out. Incredible in the ring, perfection on the microphone. I was hooked. I used your tapes for training. I watched you wherever you went. You went to Florida and shocked the system, which of course was
Hmm.
their tagline. I followed your footsteps. I went to CZW, became a top name in the independents, and then signed with AEW. I knew you'd make the jump. We'd have the rivalry of a lifetime, two generational talents, MJF versus Adam Cole. But Then this guy showed up. What happened to you, man? You used to be the Panama Playboy. Now you're the Panama Game Boy. You play Twitch hiding from the sun, looking like a virgin Gollum. Britt Baker keeps leaving the house with your balls in her purse. Man, I love these ones. Didn't you used to have the body and physique of a world champion? Now, no offense, you're so frail you make crack whores jealous. This company has done everything in its power to make you cool. You know what they do to make MJF cool? They freaking ring the bell. Sound familiar? And then he runs through all of his matches, his usual top bunch of list. I've beaten every single top guy. What makes you think you'll be any different? And before you answer, I read a nasty rumor online. You jumped here because Vince McMahon didn't think you had top guy potential. A fuck that guy chant breaks out. I thought he lost his marbles, but now I stand eye to eye with you. I think Vince was right. And Cole says, really? Was that the best you've got? The great MJF that verbally destroys people? Instead, you sound like a toxic social media troll. I'm like, he's not wrong. I'm going to brush over the Brit part because she could beat the hell out of you. What's your obsession with other people's relationships? I know your fiance left you and you can't hold relationships. MJF, though, you're world class. A world class douchebag. And oh my God, my body. Not like I've heard that before. You bring it up because of my body of work, matches, interviews, world championship reigns. Get real. You can't touch me. But if you really want to go down that road, let's go piss in a couple cups backstage and we can see who's natural and who's not. Oh, you don't want to? I thought so. I can appreciate you studied my career, but we are nothing alike. I've traveled the world and the people in the back respect me. I've been a bad guy in the past, but they still respect me, the human being, Adam Cole. But you, there's not a single person back there that respects you. They would laugh in your face. They think you're selfish, conceited, do the bare minimum to get your paycheck. I speak for all of them and many of the fans. No one respects you. A no respect chant breaks out. MJF says, "Oh no, you don't respect me. How about I cry and all my money about it?" That's a lot of tough talk coming from Keith Lee's manager. Adam says, and there it is. MJF creates a false narrative to hide behind. If you were a real champ, you'd fight me, but you're a coward. I know I'm wasting my breath. So if you remember anything from this conversation, remember this. You won't fight me because I'm better than you, and they know it. And now MJF flips. He's like, don't turn your back on me. I'll wrestle you any day of the week and I'll beat your ass. And Adam goes, looks like we got ourselves a match.
Yeah, this was good. I mean, I think it obviously went on a little bit too long. I'm like, guys, really, we're gonna get full entrances, like you said. MJF kills me sometimes. Like, I mean, everything MJF said about what Vince thought about Adam Cole and what he wanted to do, the whole Keith Lee manager stuff, and that was all true. That's not him making stuff up. That was actually true. And not believing in him. But this is weird. See, this is weird to me because, again, Forbidden Door's coming up. You know these two are not fighting at Forbidden Door. They're fighting soon, like in an eliminator match. But like, who cares? Why are you starting this program this early? You save it for after Forbidden Door. Then you can do an entire feud with these two. Throw some people at MJF right now if you have to, or just guess what? He doesn't wrestle every now and every like week. Bring out his opponent for Forbidden Door. Build a match for Forbidden Door. Like, I thought this was so premature. They didn't need to do this. I thought MJF played the generic heel, and I thought, honestly, Adam Cole played a generic face. That's what I thought about this entire promo, right? I mean, yeah, they said some funny stuff, but nothing shocking, nothing that made me go, oh, like I was just like, okay, all right, like this is like WWE promos 101, right? And I was like, all right, I just, it was good, and it was just okay. And then I was like, but why are we doing this now? Like, why? Right?
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. It's MJF doing MJF stuff. You know, I thought Adam Cole won this match, to be quite honest. I thought he handled the points a lot better, carried himself with better poise. His points came across better. Yeah, he is doing more of a generic babyface thing, but I think I like the promos a little better than you did. Because I tried to think of them devoid of the build that they're working towards. Right? Like they're working up their match well, right? They're giving us a reason to care about Adam Cole. But I don't want this match right now. What the hell are they
I
doing?
don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Like, I was sitting there talking about this before in the pre-show, and I said, a good opponent for MJF might be someone, because they can't give him Sonata because they're not going to pin. MJF's not pinning Sonata, and Sonata's not pinning MJF. So unless they go to a time limit draw, they're not doing that match. And I don't think they want to go to a time limit draw on Forbidden Door. So I said, why not Tetsuya Naito? Doesn't hold a belt right now. Really good wrestler. You put on a match where he basically dominates MJF for the vast majority of the match, and MJF has to cheat to beat him and holds his title. Okay, makes total sense, and then he can brag about beating one of New Japan's top guys.
Yeah,
right. And Naito doesn't lose anything losing in a cheating win,
or
and actually gain
MJF,
something looking good in the ring.
Or MJF just beats what's his face, the ace himself,
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Tanahashi.
I don't think they would have him just beat the crap.
You don't think
Tanahashi, so? But yeah, I'm not so. I think it depends on how New Japan views MJF.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right. Like, Naito is one thing, and even that would be pretty bad because he's one of the top guys in New Japan, right? Do you beat maybe Tanahashi? Would that be any worse than Naito at this point? I don't know. Tough call, but regardless, why is he not building up a feud with someone from New Japan?
I thought he was when he said he's got no competition in the back. I thought that was aiming towards, okay, so then the Forbidden Door is open.
No, it was just this door. And the door we all knew was coming from 300 miles off. And I went, oh, look, it's Adam Cole. They're doing this already. Like when his music hit, I was just kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, they are going. I thought this would be Wembley. Okay, whatever. If they put this match on at Forbidden Door, it will die a hot death next to Ospreay and Omega and Danielson and Okada. What the hell do you do with this match? You put this match on last, everyone's gonna be sound asleep.
True.
Like, come on, Tony, wake up. Adam Cole, MJF, not Forbidden Door material.
Yep.
Push it past Wembley, please. Have them do something else for Forbidden Door. Anyway, onward and upward. We get a Hardy's recap. Them getting Ethan Page's contract, because contracts are like that in wrestling. Hardy's and Brother Zay are in the back. Matt introduces Ethan Page. Jeff tells him to use his evil for good. Matt tells him to apologize to Brother Zay, which he does. Matt wants to turn Ethan into a better quality human being. He's not going to do what Ethan did to him. He tells Ethan, you're talented. You've got a wife and kids. I'm going to make you a better man.
This is good. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously this means that Ethan Page is now part of this group, right? Like, he would never be wrestling with the other group he was part of for some time. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would they put matches like that together?
Yeah.
So yeah, as per this promo, I thought it was fine. Like, I said to you, I was having fun with Ethan Page dancing to the Hardy Boys music and stuff like that, coming out with Matt Hardy. I was having fun with that. So I'm kind of hoping they continue with that stuff. Maybe Tony saw that, this was kind of fun. Maybe we continue that, right? Maybe turn Ethan Page to babyface and he just have him hang out with the Hardys. That would be cool. So yeah, I was happy about this, and yeah, we'll talk about the other one after, but yeah, I was good with this.
Cool. It was okay. It was there.
Yeah.
I hope they do some funny stuff, because I mean, this is really the comedy relief on the show, so please be comedy. Since the JayAS seems to have vanished into thin air, mostly. But then we get back by popular demand. I don't know. We get Junglehook, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Hook taking on La Facción and Governales, Preston, Vance, and Dralistico in a Texas Tornado tag match. And I commented before the show, why is this a tornado tag? Like, what did any of them do that built this up to be a tornado tag?
I don't know.
Just needed a stip.
Just needed something.
Tony loves them stips, man.
He does.
My God. LFI commits yet another pre-match jumping. How many of those did we get tonight? Jumping Jungle Jack. What was it, 3? 3 of the 6 matches tonight were pre-bell jumps, weren't they?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. LFI jumps them before the match and the bell rings. They brawl. Junglehook gets control of Dralistico in the ring, but Jose throws some cords in the ring. Vance floors Hook onto the outside. Dralistico chokes Perry as Hook and Vance battle into the crowd. Jack reverses Dralistico, choking him, then pulling his mask, then whips Dralistico with the cord. But Dralistico reverses him, kicks him down in the corner, gets a table that he sets up on the floor. He tries to get Perry on the table, but they fight outside. Jose sets up a second table next to the first as Perry and Dralistico return to the ring. Meanwhile, Vance and Hook keep brawling into the 200 level. Perry then hits a snap suplex for two, but Dralistico hits a corkscrew kick and a diving double stomp to Perry on the apron. Hook has a chain now. Not sure where he got it. Maybe he brought it to the ring. I don't recall. But he has a chain and he wraps it around his hand and punches Vance in the face as they return to ringside. This busts Vance open, and Vance was, I mean, I don't think it was hard way. I think Vance quite quickly bladed after, but he bladed buckets, like buckets of blood. He comes back, throwing Hook into the barricade and catching Perry's tope. LFI beats the heck out of them as Vance's blood goes everywhere. I'll bet you money there's blood on the fans next to the ring.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hook chokes him with the chain, uses the rope for leverage, but Perry breaks it up with a chair shot to Vance's head, and Hook gets choked with a chain. Sorry. Perry breaks up with a chair shot to Vance's head, and Hook hits a T-bone on the tables. Perry DDTs Dralistico on the chair, but Jose breaks it up, so Hook locks Red Drum on Jose. Perry puts on the snare trap on Dralistico, and Dralistico taps. What did you think?
I like this match. I really did. I really like this match as well. Like, really quick, very, very violent match. I gave it my number 3 spot. I thought the Vance bleeding, I was like, my God, you're Dustin Rhodes type blood here. It was absolutely insane. I like Hook and Jungle Boy together, though. I was watching Jungle Boy wrestle, and when he started ripping Dralistico's mask, I'm like, that's not something Jungle Boy does. Why is he ripping his mask? And I like how they're slowly showing this turn for Jungle Boy. So what else is he going to do, right? There was a point in the match after they won where Hook is standing on the rope and Jungle Boy still has the chair in his hand, and then he tosses it, and I'm like, was he gonna smack him in the back? Well, obviously camera angles weren't set up for him to do that, but I'm like, I like the way they're telling this story. Let these two have a couple more matches. Let them win as a tag team. Build it up. Do it the right way, and then let him turn on Hook. That's going to be a fantastic feud between those two. But yeah, no, I really like this match. I think Preston Vance and Dralistico are great together. They're a really good tag team. I miss Roosh, obviously. I love Roosh. I would rather Roosh in here. But yeah, I had fun with this match. I just thought, so the chain came from Jose. Jose brought the chain out and gave it to Vance first, and Vance tried to hit what's his name, Hook with it, and Hook dodged. And so I think Vance ran at Hook. Apparently couldn't stop, and his momentum took him over the barricade.
So then
that's
Hook got the chain, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
that's where he got the chain.
Okay,
so yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, and you know, hey, the Hook's jump with the chain on his hand, like that punch he gave, was pretty good. It was well delivered. So yeah, you know, listen, I almost bit on the holy crap, that could have been Hardway blood, right? But no, I again, I had fun with this match. Another match that didn't outstay its welcome in any way. It did all its its spots. Jungle Boy, the right team won, obviously, and hey, we're using teams that are, you know, just not just jobbers, right? Like, and they're losing, but did really expect like these guys to win? No, obviously not. So I had fun with this match. I thought it was great. It's building that storyline, and again, as I said, when I saw Jungle Boy ripping that mask, I'm like, Jungle Boy doesn't do this. So I'm like, okay, I see it. I like it.
Well, that was the part that I liked the best, was like watching the little subtle things around Jungle Boy. I didn't like this match as much as you did, and I'll tell you why. It is yet another AEW shock match. Okay, we get it. People bleed in AEW. Like, how many more chains and table breaking? And I know the crowd loves it and people love it. I'm just like, can we give it a break for a couple of weeks, guys? Because they're becoming so commonplace. I'm like, oh, look, another gusher of blood, right? Like, okay, now Preston Vance is bleeding everywhere. It's losing its value.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
it's
it
true.
really is. I don't think these matches should be put on as all. That's why I said, like, okay, Texas Tornado match. Why? Just put them in a tag.
Hmm.
These four guys could have had a really good tag match. You
Yeah,
know,
they could have.
yeah. But when the whole part where Hook is like dragging him up the stairs and Vance is dragging him up the stairs, and I mean, they just fought and fought and fought and fought in the stands forever. I'm like, well, that was pointless. I mean, all it did was allow a singles match to happen in the ring,
Yeah, in the ring,
and
exactly.
there was like these long pauses while they were setting up the tables and stuff. And I'm just like, I realized most of that was probably commercial break
Probably
stuff.
commercial. Yeah,
Yeah, but still, I get that as the match. So for me, that's the match. So yeah, I'm watching it kind of going, this wasn't a bad match. It's not like I
Mhm.
hated it. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't great. All right.
Fair
And
enough.
I mean, I didn't see a lot of wrestling. I saw a
It was,
lot
yeah,
of
more
people
fight,
beating on each other with weapons. And it's
fight.
like, I'm kind of tired of people beating on each other with weapons. I'm kind of tired of tables. I'm tired of blood. Leave it to Mox. Just leave it to
Mm.
Mox. Leave it to the Blackpool Combat Club direct people, you know? Like, can we just like not do it with everybody? I'd appreciate that. You know, I mean, after Matt Jackson got the thumbtacks in his foot and they
I
went right into
know.
his bone, we
Oof.
just had anarchy in the arena, people. Can we chill on the blood for a week? Oh my God. Anyway, so, I mean, even Mox can have a great match without bleeding everywhere.
Hmm.
Unless Ishii gives him hard way blood with a headbutt. But anyway, yeah, I think this was, let me check my little list at the end here. This was my match number 4.
Okay.
Yep. So there is a match that I actually enjoyed more than this one. Tony Khan announces the first Collision main event, and it is Switchblade Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe taking on FTR and CM Punk.
Sure. Sure. Because we know it's literally this is starting a feud between CM Punk and Samoa Joe. Like this was kind of announced already. So I guess they gotta have a match and then that's gonna start the feud and sure. Okay. So does this mean that FTR is gonna have a feud with Jay White and Juice? Is that what's probably gonna happen now?
They might as well.
Right? Okay. Whatever. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure. The
sure.
fans liked it. They really did. They started cheering, so it's good.
Wet fart. That's all this was. Yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, Samoa Joe versus CM Punk in a singles match, I would have found a lot more interesting. And they could have just said, we're doing it because these guys have history and we're going to give them the main event spot.
Yeah, fair.
But no, they're going to do a trios match is the first main event.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Maybe
too
they're
often a
afraid of
trios match can actually take a match of the night.
maybe they're afraid that Punk might hurt himself in a singles match.
You're probably quite right. He might. Sorry, I don't mean to be so excessively negative. It's just I found a lot of stuff on this show to be like, oh, and I think that's my own fault. It's my own fault. You know, I went into this with great expectations. My expectations were not met, so I built up resentments as well. Because as we all know, expectations are the mother of resentments. So,
Lowered expectations.
exactly. Speaking of lowered expectations, Konosuke Takeshita comes out and to fight Damon Ace, who's a Colorado indie wrestler. Takeshita beats him up, nails the jumping knee for 3.
Yeah, who they announced during the match. Like Justin Roberts didn't even announce his name,
I know.
right? And I was like, okay. And hey, I'm sorry, why are we not using Takeshi's music or anything like that?
Yeah,
Like
I have
you
no
can play a
idea.
video and play his music as well, right? I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah. The fact that he had no
I
entrance music was lame.
It's stupid. It's stupid. This match was my number 6. It was just a squash match.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, sure, thanks.
Yep. Number 6, squash and no entrance music. Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Callis gets a mic. And for a minute, I'm like, was this, what? Wait, deja vu? He
Same
cuts
thing.
the exact
Mm-hmm.
same promo as last week. The exact same.
Yeah,
Takeshita says something to
no
Omega in
difference.
Japanese. Callis says, blah, blah, cancer, blah, blah, everything's Kenny's fault. It's the exact same promo as last week. Just go back and listen to this part in
Mm-hmm.
last week's show and you get the exact same promo.
Yep. Last week was great. This week was just, why are you saying the same thing again? Right?
Yeah, it was
I mean,
completely and utterly pointless. You want an example of zero build, nothing happening in a storyline?
yeah,
Oh my God,
here.
this elite storyline this week was dead, dead, dead.
Yeah. And I mean, Callis has like the biggest heat on him right now, and this is what
Mhm.
you go out and say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? What you should have done is you should have before Takeshita came out, you should have played Kenny Omega's music a little bit and then have Don Callis come out,
Yes.
right? Get the heat on him some more. But no, they did nothing like that, and
No.
I'm like, okay, all
They
right,
bring out
sure.
Takeshita with no music, which is just lame. Give him new theme music or something, right? Like whatever. Just give him something. Anyway. We go in the back. We have Christian Cage with Alex Marvez, and I kind of forgot about this whole storyline going on. So this was a good reminder. And there's some noise going on in the background as he's talking to Alex, and he says, Arn Anderson cost me the championship. Arn, you took something from me, so it's time for me to take something from you. Opens the door, and Luchasaurus has beat the living hell out of Brock Anderson, who's lying in a pool of his own blood.
Yeah, and then Arn Anderson runs in. He's like, "What just happened? There's nothing happened here because I don't care about my son." That part didn't happen, but I mean, like, yeah, this is just again, this is funny. Like, I mean, like, for me to care about this is I'd have to care about Brock Anderson getting beaten. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So wait, are we gonna beat up Arn Anderson now? Is that what we're going for, Christian? I'm okay with that, Christian. I'm okay with that, but
Mhm,
I don't care for it though, right? I don't need to see it.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I
I
don't know
like how the
what they're
feud is
doing.
now, Ward, not Wardlow anymore. No one cares about
No,
Wardlow.
nope.
It's Christian versus Arn Anderson.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
But still, it was good. I enjoy
Yeah.
seeing Christian. I enjoy the fact they beat up Brock. It's like, here's your forgotten son, dude. So then we get Kris Statlander, the champion, taking on Anna JAS for the TBS championship. Anna has Daddy Magic in her corner during the match. They grapple to start, some solid back and forth until
Hmm.
Statlander drops her with a side slam. Anna bails from the ring. They play a bit of cat and mouse until Daddy Magic stands in Statlander's way. But Kris catches Anna's surprise kick, counters with a boot, and then hits a shoulder tackle for two. But Anna dodges a corner charge, hits a roundhouse in the back, taking control. She works Statlander over for a while, including a nice double knee rope choke and encountering a lariat with the J kick. She hits a neck breaker and goes for another, but Statlander reverses into a jawbreaker, then a series of hard forearms and a charging high knee in the corner, followed by a power slam for two, or side slam rather. Statlander goes to the top, but Daddy Magic distracts her, and Anna Jay knocks her off the turnbuckle and hits a double underhook face buster for two. I don't know what to call that move where she puts her on the back. I don't think it has a name. But
No.
when they she lifts the people up on her back backwards and then drops them on their face. It's a great
It's like
move.
the reverse, like whatever, like
Yeah,
Jade and what's her
it's the
face do,
reverse, like Flight of the Valkyries or whatever
whatever
Ty
they call it.
Valkyrie
Yeah,
calls
yeah.
hers. Yeah, the jaded, but it's like from the back. So I'm gonna call it the
Hmm.
double underhook face buster until they
Yeah.
come up with a name. But Statlander comes back with a discus lariat, and Daddy Magic interferes again, allowing Anna Jay to lock on the Queen Slayer. But Statlander actually climbs to her feet, snapmares Anna Jay out of the move, hits the lariat backbreaker, and then hits the Night Fever 4-3, and Ty Valkyrie is pissed backstage.
Yeah. No one cares about the Ty Valkyrie storyline, but like yeah, this match is good. Like they did good. Like, listen, Anna Jay looks so much better in this match. Holy, right? Like, and Kris Statlander is again just a better wrestler than Jade is. Like, that's like, you see it. I can't really, like, there's nothing for me to like say. Like, it was a good match. I gave my number 5 spot. Again, there's nothing against this match. It's just like, in comparison, I gave it the number 5. I thought that these women put in a solid match. I thought there was nothing flashy about it, right? It was pretty simple, right? A simple wrestle match, but I think that's what they need right now, because I think after Statlander has now come back from this like major injury, it's let's ease her in, right? And as I said it before, like, Anna looked great. Like, she actually really looked great in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Like night and day improved. So this is good. I still don't understand Kris Statlander's character. That's my only flaw right now with her in general. I just don't get it. I would prefer her alien character, but I mean, listen, it's maybe just not for me, right?
She's more
So,
than a woman.
more than a woman, okay, sure. I Great, but I just don't get it. I just don't understand her character. Like, Jade is a bad version of her. Is that what it is?
I
Because
have
Jade
no
kind of has like
idea.
the same kind of thing. But anyways, regardless, I mean, the match was good, and I give him my
Mhm.
number 5 spot.
Well, I mean, hey, Roderick Strong spent the whole time in NXT being a dad. That was his whole gimmick. I'm a dad.
Oh,
Okay, that's
didn't
great.
what's his face, Heath Slater, do the same thing? I have kids. Isn't that
Yeah,
why
except he was doing the
yeah.
funny version.
Yeah. Okay.
Roderick Strong was doing the serious version, leading to many terrible promos. But
Oh,
yeah, but anyway. No, Kris Statlander, I don't know what her gimmick is, but I
mm-mm,
really liked this match. And see,
mm-hmm.
well, you said nothing flashy. And then I thought to myself, oh, I get it. Because Krishna likes the really flashy wrestling.
Well, I do. I
And
like
yeah,
spot
you like
matches.
spots. This wasn't a spot match, but it was
No.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed the way they did the mat wrestling at the beginning was solid,
Mm-hmm.
right? Their transitions were good. Anna Jay looked really good.
She
There was
did.
only two
See?
moments where I thought, okay, you got to lay into that hit a little harder or something, right? But my God, has she come a long way?
Mm-hmm.
And Kris Statlander looked damn good in
It was
this
great.
match, right? I mean, like, hey, however she was in her previous match last week, right? She looked better this week.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that she looked better against someone like Anna
Anna J.
JayAS,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who rookie not that long ago, right?
Yeah.
And wrestled really solid. This is my number 3 match. I really like the
Oh.
work they both put in. I like the intelligence of some of the spots. You're right. It's not a flashy match. It's a smart match. All right. I liked the way that Anna Jay was still like Kris Statlander didn't get fooled by the whole distraction, right? She knew it was coming, that kind of stuff. I like the way that they played around a little bit. You thought that Anna Jay had a bit of a chance. And at one point, I actually thought to myself, will they flip the title off Statlander that fast?
No way.
Right?
No way.
Well, why not? Why not?
Too early. Too early. Anna Jay is
What's
like
too
a
early? They stripped a belt off Julia after like 0 title defenses or 1 title defense.
that's Stardom. We're not talking about Stardom here. We're talking about a real wrestling promotion, Bill. Um, they're not gonna strip it up Statlander. I mean, like Anna Jay, unfortunately, she's part of JAS. Most of the JAS, like if you're not Sammy and if you're not Chris Jericho, you're basically a jobber on that team, right?
All right. Who
Oh,
are
sorry.
they? Who are they? Because they weren't on the show tonight.
Daniel Garcia. I totally forgot about it.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's because they're transitioning them over to Collision. They have to be.
Wonderful.
Right? They have to be doing that. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like no, this you're right. But back to this match. The match was great. Anna Jay was great. She
Mhm.
really was. Like really, it's maybe because these two have chemistry, right? They were like AEW originals, right? You gotta
Mhm.
remember that. They fought before, right? Like having what's her face? Last week she fought Nyla Rose.
Mhm.
Again, smart move because you're putting
Yep.
her up against people she's wrestled, right? Um, you're inching her in slowly and slowly, and it's helping her. So yeah, I think Statlander is great. I don't understand her character, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing I'm just not. She's kind of The thing is, she's kind of boring, and I want to be excited, and that's it. Like Brit, we know who Brit is, right? We know who Jamie Hayter was.
Mhm.
Hey, we know who Thunder Rosa is, even though she's kind of boring. But like, they all have like different personalities. What's Kris Statlander's personality?
Well, yeah, she needs to like establish why she does what she does.
Yeah,
She hasn't
yeah, that's
done
the only
that.
thing. That's
Yeah,
the
she
only
hasn't
thing.
done
That's
that at all. It's
all
like,
I'm
oh, I
missing
came
right now.
back, and that's okay. That's great. You came back and you won a championship, and you feel good about it. That's
That's
everybody.
it. Yeah, that's
You
it.
know, like there's no unique motivation there. Well, there's going to be a big 4-way next week. To determine challengers, and Tony Storm and Ruby Soho are backstage, and they say they're going to be watching that 4-way.
Yeah, because like no one's gonna win that match. Like, okay, sorry, they're gonna win that match, but no one's beating Tony Storm for that belt right now. I like this version of Tony Storm where she's so cocky, and I like the fact that Ruby and the missing Saraya, because she wasn't there, really support this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how Britt was supporting Jamie and vice versa, right?
Yep.
So I love this. I love the fact that they're in a faction. They're not trying to immediately backstab each other,
Right.
right? They're actually in a faction. They're supporting each other and like, yeah, we're the so is it true that uh Tony is the first 2-time women's champion?
That's quite possible.
right? Because that's what they were saying, and I'm like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, Riho, no, Sheeta, was Sheeta ever a champion? Sheeta was, right? Yeah, Sheeta was.
Hmm.
Britt, Jamie, Thunder Rosa. I guess
Yep.
yeah, she is the first,
The first two time.
yeah,
Yep.
2 times. So hey,
Yep.
good on her, right?
Yeah, I know. And it's almost like they take a page out of one of the best wrestling promotions in the world, Stardom's book, in terms of supporting your faction members who have belts and not trying to take the belts off them.
Stardome? What is this
Yes.
you talk about?
Only the greatest wrestling promotion on the face of the planet. That's all I have to say. Don't get me started. Well, then we get to the main event of the evening. Ricky Starks versus Jay White with FTR and Juice banned from the building, apparently. Not just the match, the building. Though apparently Juice found his way back in at the
He
end of the
finds it in,
match,
yeah.
but that's okay. Starks goes right after Switchblade on the ramp in our third pre-match attack of the night and stomps him down. White gets in the ring, but Starks sends him right to the floor again, beating him around ringside. And apparently the Golden Knights are up 2-0 against the Florida Panthers. What the what?
That's right. The Golden Knights are dominating the Florida Panthers. So it's kind of like, whoa. So I guess if anyone made it to the finals, the Golden Knights, fifth year in the league, are probably going to win the Stanley Cup. And you know what? I'm cheering for the Golden Knights. So I mean,
Might as well,
good on
because
you.
what's the point of cheering for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
That plus the Golden. Well, actually, just quick stat before we continue. Um, you know that guy Jack Eichel from Buffalo,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy that Buffalo, they wanted Connor McDavid, and unfortunately got the number 2 pick, and they got Jack Eichel, and Jack Eichel asked for an out, and Jack Eichel is now playing for the
Golden
Las
Knights.
Vegas Golden Knights, and out of Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Jack Eichel, he's probably going to be the first one to win the Stanley Cup. So just a quick shout out to Jack Eichel. I'm happy for him. Fantastic. This is great. And the Golden Knights are a team that we love to watch because guess what? They were the outcasts, right? No pun intended. They were the outcasts that no one wanted, that they had an expansion team built. And the leader in points is Jonathan Marchessault, who was one of the original Golden Knights who was casted out by his former team and now it's about to win the Stanley Cup. So these are good stories all around. Like their goaltender is Aiden Hill, which you probably will never you don't know. I didn't really know. He was again another goaltender that no one really cared about and is now about to win. Again, sidetracked. We got off topic because they did flash that graphic and Excalibur talked about it quickly, and then Taz was like, "Yeah, Vegas is a great town and stuff like that." But yeah,
Yep. So
Golden
we also
Knights.
got distracted midway to talk about some hockey because, Krishna and I are Canadians. So,
That's right.
anyway, hockey, even if I'm not watching it regularly, I still understand it.
Mhm.
Here we are. Starks finally rolls him back inside, hits a back body drop, tosses White outside, and pushes the steps over for some reason. Meanwhile,
What
Switchblade
confused
goes
me.
up the ramp. Starks chases him, but White catches him. But Starks counters again. He goes to throw White off the stage, but White digs Stark's eye with his thumb and heads back to the ring. The announcers note the ref has used his discretion with the countout on this match. Starks pulls White out again, but Switchblade hits the back elbow, throws him into the apron, and then puts the steps back where they belong. But he took too long fixing the steps, and Starks suplexes him on the floor. Tony then comments that the steps are more dangerous now because they are slightly ajar. Starks goes back to looking under the ring again and finally finds a chair. Apparently, they only put one chair under, and it was guess where it is. The ref warns him and takes the chair away. White nails Starks with another forearm, sending him to the floor, and then hits a reverse vertical on the apron and sends Starks back to the floor. Beats him around the ring some more, gets him back in the ring, chopping him hard repeatedly. Starks tries to counter into a spinning DDT, but White throws him onto the turnbuckle and lands the superplex for 2. White sets up for the Blade Runner, but Starks fights out and hits a flying lariat, running elbow, spinning DDT for a near fall. Starks then hits an Uranagi for another near fall. He sets up for the Rochambeau, but White counters into his own picture perfect Uranagi for 2. They go back and forth, the chops again. White nails Starks with a big knee, sets up for the Blade Runner, but Starks hits the spear and hits the Rochambeau, but the Rochambeau lightly kicks the ref, and the ref goes out for the count. And then the new probable members of Bullet Club Gold appear, and it's Austin and Colton Gunn. They hit the 310 to Yuma, and they leave with the ref down. White hits the Blade Runner for 3, and that's the end of the match.
Yeah, I give this match my number 4 spot. That Uranagi by White, wow, that was actually pretty cool. I was like, holy crap, he spiked him with that.
Yeah.
These two are pretty good wrestlers. I like watching them. Maybe not wrestling each other all the time. Like I prefer them wrestling other people. Yeah, that ending when I saw the guns. I mean, hey, Jay White did say the Bang Bang Club, right? I mean, the guns, bang bang. I mean, hey, it just makes sense. This is writing itself, Bill. Yeah, I guess they had to find somewhere to put the guns because
weren't they in a faction?
What were they part of? They were part of
Firm with with Stokely. What
but
happened to Stokely?
Disbanded. I don't know what happened to Stokely. That's a good question. But yeah, no, I this match again, I put it in my number 4. I thought I was really expecting, like, when I knew something's gonna happen. I'm like, oh, they're putting this match on the last. That means someone is crossing through that forbidden door tonight, and then nothing happened. And I was like, oh, it's the guns.
Yep, it was
Collision
wet
really
fart
starting
number
to suck.
2. Yeah.
Collision's really starting to suck. I'm like, okay, all right, then okay, sure.
Way to sell more tickets in Canada, guys. Way to sell more tickets. Yeah, and I don't mean to be hard on it because overall, look, I really enjoyed watching Dynamite tonight, but this match was okay. And that's where I would, it was, it's my number 5 match. It was okay. I felt that they did an awful lot of dragging each other around. You know, Starks got a lot of offense early, and that was fine. It made a lot of sense. But whenever there was a bit of a comeback, nothing really happened at it. It was a very, very safe match. Then there was that whole stuff with Starks looking under the ring and looking under the ring and looking under the ring and looking under the ring. And it's like, and Jay White has to just play dead while Starks is dicking around. And then what does Starks do? He fricks around with the steps for a while. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Nothing. Yeah. And then Jay White puts them back. What the hell is going on right now? This made no sense in the match. It played no part in the match. It played no part in the finish. It was completely useless. I'm like, what the hell is Ricky Starks doing? Like, what was going through his mind while he was doing this?
Something was messed up. I think they were supposed to do something, and that got messed up, and he couldn't improvise.
Yeah, exactly. And then like it just drags them up the ramp, and they go to throw, and they do this, and all the big spots that could have been big spots were always cut off. Like every one of them was cut off. So you know, it was kind of like like it was almost a match that was waiting to ramp up to the next level and never quite did. And then that finish, oh my god. Rochambeau, the light tap on the ref. Oh, he gets knocked down with a horrible shot. It's like he gets hit with a stone cold stunner.
Yep.
From a light kick to the head. It's like, what is it, glass jaw Charlie? Like, come on, man. And he's out cold from this light kick from a Rochambeau. Like that wouldn't have knocked you or me down. Never mind a ref. So yeah, anyway, that was bad. And then after, of course, I said, come on, let it be El Phantasmo. My expectations were sky high again for anyone from Japan. Anyone.
And then your favorite people came out.
Yeah, the guns. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, so Bullet Club Gold is now going to be Jay White leading Juice Robinson and the guns. Oh, and you're right, perfect fit. The Gun Brothers in the Bang Bang Club. That's great. That's great. Oh. And you wonder why I watch Stardom, right? It's not, and again, I want to make it clear. I'm being hard on this, but I didn't hate the match. It just wasn't as good as anything else on the card. Well, I mean, squash match notwithstanding. But I mean,
Squash
everyone
match.
else was better, and this was the main event. And I don't like it when the main event is my number 5 of 5 main matches on the card. I'm like, guys, come on. It's the main event. Do something better than this. And then give me something at the end. I mean, your surprise was the guns? The guns. That's your surprise. We're building the Forbidden Door. Again, where is the Forbidden Door build in this?
No, Tony
Bullet
Khan
Club Gold
is
versus...
building to Collision. That's what he's building to.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Collision. I really don't. Like, we have Forbidden Door happening in 3 weeks. I do not care about June 17th. I don't care what you do with June 17th. I don't even know if I'm going to end up seeing the show before Forbidden Door.
But that's why he's building to it, because he knows that, like, he understands ticket sales are low and stuff like that. That's why he's putting as much effort as he can.
You have a pay-per-view to sell June 25th.
Yeah, that pay-per-view is almost sold out. They don't care. They have Kenny Omega.
No, but you got to sell the pay-per-view, not just the arena.
They will. I mean, like, the arena is pretty much sold out. They're gonna sell pay-per-views based on just who they have currently. Just
you mean like the 2 million impressions on Bryan Danielson's video tweet?
Yeah, exactly. Like
2 million impressions. Jesus.
Exactly. Those 2 matches right there are gonna sell enough for them. Like, I'm pretty sure he has high confidence like that. At this point, that's all he really needs, right? That's why he's focusing on Collision.
Well, yeah, but like when I said, you give me those 2 matches and I'm good. It's like, Tony, there's a little bit of me that says that's bullshit. I don't want to sit there for 4 hours waiting for those 2 matches, watching the guns.
The guns, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Seriously, that is not what we want. Can you please have an actual build to the pay-per-view? Because that would be really great. Not a single new thing for the pay-per-view was announced this week. Not a single new thing. Not a single person from New Japan. Nothing. You're right. We got a bunch of bullshit building towards Collision. And the way that they're shaping it up, to me, Collision's looking very skippable.
It is. Collision looks, kind of mid, right? And it doesn't look good. So, and he's trying to push, but it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all.
Oh, I'm being way too angry tonight. I gotta chill. Okay. You know what it was? It was just my expectations. I really thought we were getting a build to Forbidden Door tonight. I really did. And we got nothing.
Yeah. No, we didn't.
We got a repeat Don Callis promo. We got Adam Cole and MJF. We got the main event for Collision, which is kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing happened. We got the Hung Bucks with just a terrible promo.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Like, it was just we everything good was in the first 2 matches.
Yeah.
Because we got Swerve and Orange Cassidy. That was awesome. And then we got Blackpool Combat Club and Chaos. That was awesome. And then it was all downhill from there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, there was some good matches.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take away from the fact we had some good matches, but I mean, I don't know. Anything on the show at the Omega level besides my ranting?
No, I don't think anything is Omega. Even the Don Callis stuff wasn't Omega because it's the same thing that happened last week, right? So I don't count anything on here as Omega level.
No, me neither. I mean, 4.5-star match from the first match for me, which that's a damn good match and 100% worth checking out. I mean, if you're gonna watch this show, just stop after the Blackpool Combat Club and read summaries after.
Yeah.
You'd be just fine. But yeah, no, it wasn't a terrible episode of Dynamite, but I think that, again, I let my expectations get in the way of enjoyment. I think that's really what's going on here, is that I'm going to need some time to digest this and just accept the thing I can't change, which is, the fact that Tony Khan cares more about Collision than he does about Forbidden Door, because he thinks Forbidden Door is just fine with 2 matches. So, which, I mean, admittedly, those will be 2 of the greatest matches of all time. But, can we at least have Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy? Because, yay. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Where was Kenny Omega tonight? Still in Japan? Still in Japan? Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of ranting with Bill and, our podcast. So, as the great one does always say, though, as I put it in slightly Trinidadian slang, is that what that was? Does always say. Goodbye, everybody. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.